Okay, yeah.
There we go. Just holding a kid at the same time.
You two have a infant between the two of you?
No, I'm just seeing him. I've been seeing him for 3 months.
I see. And
my kid's like almost 2.
I see. Where's Daddy?
He's around. We're really good friends.
I see.
That's about it.
All right. Is he helping pay for the child?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Fantabulous. And you've just been going out with the butt master for a few months now?
Yeah, we just see each other, nothing serious.
Yeah. Well, it certainly means something. Did she say that he likes sort of ingesting things that he's inserted in her?
He what?
Is that what I heard, Adam?
I think he puts his fingers in his own butt and then puts it...
No, he wants to put toys in his butt, like dildos.
And then he puts those things where?
Like in his butt.
Yeah.
And then where do they go?
Oh, boy.
Huh?
They go in his butt?
Hey, Bobby.
Yeah?
Bobby.
Huh?
Do you mind if I call you Retardo? It would just be easier to remember. Retardo on line 1. Just help us out here. He does put his fingers in his own butt, correct?
No, he does not put fingers in his own butt.
He puts toys in.
He puts, not like toys, but I'm talking like, adult toys.
Yes.
And then what does he do with them after they've been in there?
What's he do after they're in there?
Yeah.
He messes with them.
In what way? Didn't you say he puts them in his mouth or something?
He puts them in his butt, and then when he jacks off, and then after he, busts his nut, he will taste his own nut.
Oh, he will sample his own seed.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay. Hey, Bobby?
What?
I know this guy sounds like a fine father figure and, a loving husband candidate.
Go around him. He doesn't...
Yeah. Yeah, listen, Bobby, here's something interesting. Here's a good rule of thumb. If you don't trust someone around your kid, maybe you shouldn't trust them around you either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you that desperate? Are you that hard up? Did you have to date a lunatic?
No.
All right, well, why don't you just take a little Bobby time, just take a little time off, pull yourself out of the dating circuit, and focus on your kid for a little bit.
No, she's focused on all the time.
All right, and listen, don't get pregnant again, you goofball.
Whoa, that's like crazy. You just call me a goofball.
That's right. All right, Bobby, don't ruin your kid and break up with this guy.
Yeah. I saw you guys at the Winnie Roast.
Fantastic. I'm wearing a helmet and a Kevlar vest next year. All right, Bobby, break up with this guy. He's twisted and demented, okay? You don't need that in your life.
She really had trouble, explaining herself.
She certainly did. And by the way, what do you think constitutes a red flag for Bobby and a man? Yeah, how much of his own semen does he have to drink? How many toys does he have to wedge up his own anus before Bobby raises an eyebrow? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
What's it going to take for her to go, geez, I'm not sure about this one? What does one have to do? Is it, cut into one's own scrotum and wear it over one's head like a goalie mask? I mean, what do you have to do before Bobby cuts you loose?
That's the new episode of Rex Cabo.
Yeah, Mr. Elastic Scrotum. All right, let's just say hi to someone before we go to break here, Drew. Alex is over here. Okay. Alex. You're 15.
That's correct.
That's right. You found out your girlfriend was messing around with someone else. You want to know whose ass to kick, hers or his, right?
Right.
All right. How long ago was this?
This is about 2 months.
It's been 2 months?
Mm-hmm.
It happened 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you still haven't done any butt kicking yet, right?
Right.
So you're basically like putting their ass on layaway or something? You're going to kick someone's ass 2 months into it. They're not going to know why you're kicking their ass.
Or do you just want to talk about this? You're just sitting around being depressed and pissed.
Off my chest.
Okay, well, hold on a second there, Alex. He was forthright enough to admit that, so we'll talk to him after the break. It is Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. He is Dr. Drew. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Matthew McConaughey will be in here on Sunday. Then Frank Stallone. Save me, darling. I am down, but I am far from over. Boom, 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 cha, cha. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone see Staying Alive 2?
Nope.
No. Oh, boy, that is quite a song. I had a lot of... Well, that was one, but two really... you see, Drew, Drew picked up, I guess, where that left off about 4 or 5 years.
I was out. I was gone at that point.
Tony Monero or Tony Ginwapi or whatever his name was now going to become a professional dancer. And
oh, really?
But the problem is, I guess the Staying Alive was Anderson. What are we talking about? 79, 78, 79?
77.
Saturday Night Fever. Yeah, it might be 78, 77, 78. The other one was more like 81, 82, and by then it was a lot of spandex and bad headbands and things like that.
Right.
Yeah, it went south. All right, anyway, Frank Stallone and...
girls with those big leg warmers around their legs?
A lot of leg warmers. Then not only did dancers wear those leg warmers, fat women in jeans wore them in the subway. I mean, it was kind of funny. I kind of miss that, where something would take hold even if it didn't have anything to do with anything, and people would just start wearing it. Yeah. I mean, it's tantamount to the construction tool belt really catching on.
Yeah.
And, guys showing up in business suits and going to meetings and going out on dates just wearing tool bags.
And here's the insanity of all this. I watched that all go down, and in my sort of, without thinking about it, I assumed they served a purpose. There's something they were getting out of that. It never occurred to me to think that it was nothing.
Well, women's shins do run cold, Drew, much colder than males. The Goo Goo Dolls will be in here also next week, and our favorite
We haven't seen them in a while. Yeah.
No, we haven't, but they're really nice guys, and I'll be glad to see them. And Save Ferris is going to be in here, and we always love Save Ferris, so it's going to be...
I'll tell you, I saw one of the Goo Goo Dolls on that HBO TV show about the taxis.
Oh, yeah, the one got loaded, came home from the club.
Yeah,
we'll have to get into that on Wednesday, Taxi Cab Confessions. All right, so when we left off, we're speaking to
Alex.
Alex is 15. Alex's girlfriend screwed around on him 2 months ago. He's still PO'd. Are you still going out with her?
Yeah.
You are?
What?
Have you been torturing her?
Well,
a little bit?
It's kind of hard to be, nice to her and stuff.
Yeah.
It's... I know she's been screwing off me because I've seen some of the emails on her computer.
If you can't forgive, and or if she's not willing to sort of really commit to this relationship, why continue?
Well, I mean, she takes, control over me sometimes.
I see. She owns your soul. I know how it is. And when you say fool around, do you mean have sex or kiss, or what do you mean?
I think, have sex, I think, is what she's doing.
You think she's continuing to do that?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Why are you staying in this relationship?
Well, she owns her soul.
I don't understand that.
All right. Hey, Alex?
Yeah?
Here's the problem. You're in what you call a negative cycle, which is, and Drew, you can understand this, the more you give in, the less yourself you have, the softer you get, the more easier it makes you to give in the next time, till just eventually you just don't care anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you don't have enough esteem to stand up and figure out what the hell you want. You can't leave. You're stuck. You just feel lousy, and you're sort of thankful to have anything you've got.
Right, but you're like a battery that's being worn down.
Right.
Each time you give in, each time you don't break up, each time you don't take a stand where you should have taken a stand, you get a little bit weaker, it draws a little more of your energy, and therefore the next time the situation comes in, you cave that much faster.
Right.
And it just, I mean, I remember this with girlfriends. It was like, they broke up with me, I wanted to get them back, I was going to have some pride, I was going to take a stand, and then it just got to a certain point a few weeks down the road where I just went, oh, F it.
Yeah.
I'm a babbling, just pile of lard. Screw it. I might as well just throw myself on the mercy of the court, Blah, 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 blah. And it never works. It never works. You got to get out of it. You got to take a stand. And in the immortal words of Frank Stallone, I am down, but I am far from over.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know that song, do you?
No.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Yeah. All right. Where do you want to go?
I'll go to Alana.
All right. That'd be line 2. Drew, do you have the lines in front of you?
No, I don't. I just have the names.
All right. Alana, you're 20. What's up?
Hi, guys. My problem is, when I masturbate, I don't use any insertion, and so I just use pressure on my pelvic bones. And that's how I orgasm. When I have sex, I can't orgasm because I don't know, I guess that's the norm for my body, you know. I was just wondering, I mean, is that normal? Do women often masturbate this way? I mean...
Yeah. Yes. The whole part about putting stuff in you, or as I like to say, up you, is a little bit of a... It's kind of a... I don't want to say a wives' tale, but it's sort of a social misnomer or something.
Well, it's men's concept of what it should be. And men just think, oh, well, this, mine is shaped this way. This is what feels good, so yours is like that, so it must feel good when it does the opposite.
Yeah, most women who masturbate, I would say, just sort of lightly rub on their clitoris or that area. Wouldn't you say, Drew?
Yes. Or let the water do the work.
Do the talking. Yeah, they're not ramming things up in them like in the movies.
So, am I going to ever be able to have an orgasm during sex?
Well, what about during oral sex? Can you peel one off then?
You know what I found really funny is when my boyfriend gives me oral sex, I get to the point where I just feel tickled, where I just can't even stand it anymore. It's not even the orgasm feeling. It's just like the point of...
I see.
I can't even take anymore. It's like more of a tickling. Like
like overwhelmed. Maybe he could change his technique a little bit.
Yeah, I think there's a mismatch of some type here.
You really think so?
Does he have a handlebar mustache?
No.
The mismatch may just be you know what you need and he isn't able to deliver.
You're gonna have to sort of guide him. I've said it many a time. People will sort of steer you in the right direction. Let me tell you a little story, Drew.
But really quickly, just a comment. Isn't it interesting how Rebecca, the prostitute we were talking to a half hour ago, was saying how young males, American males in that age group, are pathetic.
Yeah, and what about the guys that are, paying $1,000 to eat their lunch in the brothel while the clock is ticking? That no lower self-esteem than that. And talk about there being a horrible consumer. Pardon the pun. All right, here's what I want to say. Boy, I got 1,000 thoughts on this. Here's something, Drew. I don't think we've ever talked about this, and it's rare that we stumble onto something that we haven't talked about in all these years. But women masturbate the way Alana just mentioned, most of them. They usually give themselves a sort of a light stimulation with one finger or something in the upper vaginal area there around the clitoris, the vulva area. That's right. Now... Then they get with a man, the man inserts his penis, and naturally they can't have an orgasm because the sensation is really nothing like what they're used to.
That's right.
What if, and wouldn't it be more prudent or make more sense for a woman to sort of try to simulate the sexual act with the masturbation? And I bet if one trained one's vagina to respond to that, one could have an orgasm with intercourse.
Or why not recreate the masturbatory experience with the guy there?
Well, Drew, I know you don't like to ever hear about women doing anything sexually other than pleasing themselves, but let's face it, guys bend over backwards oftentimes trying to give a woman an orgasm, and it just ain't happening, and a lot of women complain, I would like to have an orgasm with intercourse. Now, don't be so cynical and jaded for a second here, Drew. Let's just say there's a couple and they're very much in love, and there's no more intimate experience than having penetration and having intercourse, and the woman wants to experience that sensation of having the intercourse while having the orgasm while the man is in her.
Right.
Don't you think she could sort of train herself or work with herself to be able to achieve that?
It's an interesting point. I agree.
And what is wrong with that, by the way?
Nothing's wrong with that, of course.
Yeah,
you've been honing your skills for years.
Yeah. Well, it's like honing, except for it starts with a B. But the point is if a woman, I bet if a woman got herself something like a vibrator, but didn't turn it on, just something sort of phallic shaped, put it in her, and got used to stimulating her clitoral area while something was in her, she might be able to peel one off when she was in the presence of a man.
Well, by the way, somehow peeling off doesn't apply to a female, does it?
Rip one off.
Okay.
Tear one down. Break one off. Break one down. I had this big bald black man who was chasing me around my prison cell in a sketch we were doing today, yell at me he was going to break me down like a shotgun. And I never really thought about that because you hear people talking about the pumping of the shotgun, but picture the old Jed Clampett shotgun that you broke down.
Yeah.
It does it does take on a whole new meaning when a large, bald black man is yelling he's going to break you down like one. All right, where the hell are we going now, Drew?
Amanda?
Amanda. Oh, one more thing I wanted to say.
Oh, okay, 1,000 ideas.
I know our program director doesn't like it when I talk on the show, but here's what I want to say about guys and oral sex. This caller we had, the guy didn't seem to be doing a very good job orally. And I've always said that if you leave yourself in sort of a neutral position when you're down there and you don't work too fast or too vigorously, the woman will sort of steer you in the right direction. Okay. And it reminds me of a story that my grandfather, God rest his soul, he used to do this trick where he performed oral sex on me. Where at a party he would tell someone to hide something somewhere in the room. And then he would leave the room, and the person would hide, their keys under a sofa pillow or something.
No, the matzah. Who had the matzah?
No, yeah, he was Jewish, but it wasn't. He wasn't looking for the
warmer
Yaka Koda or whatever the hell the Jews call that. The point is he would sort of hold their hand and say that he would guide them around the room, and he would always go right to the keys, and he would find them. And the trick was the person would sort of very, very subtly end up guiding them.
Huh.
You know what I'm saying?
So he would read the pressure in their hand.
He would read the pressures. He sort of walked them around the room, and they would inevitably lead him to whatever the object was.
Fascinating. Wow.
My point is if guys use that technique just a little more instead of just sort of running roughshod over the vagina.
Well, it should be a feedback loop, right? There should be a stimulus response. And then you allow that to be the feedback.
But what I'm saying is the woman doesn't have to smack you on one side of the head with a slipper and yell softer or harder or to your right. That would be to my left. Right. You just have to sort of pick up on her very subtle movements.
Right.
And if you leave yourself open, you can figure it out. All right, now where are we going?
Adam, you're right. No more calls tonight. Let's just talk.
All right, I remember one time my grandfather always said about eating poontang. He told me there's two types. Shut up, damn it! Two types of poon, he told me. All right, seriously, where are we going?
Seriously, Amanda,
All right, that would be 3. Amanda?
Hi, guys.
You're 18, what's up?
I have a problem. I have a friend, and she seems to be obsessed with everything I do.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do about it. It's like everything I do, she does it.
Like what? Give me
when we first met each other, she was like a total prep. She had like one boyfriend. She stayed with him, and I'm kind of the wild chick, you know.
So she emulates your style.
Yeah, and I have.
What's wrong with that?
Hey, hey, man.
Yeah.
Listen, who cares? Nobody cares.
Whoa.
No, seriously.
I know you want to get back to your diatribe, Adam, but what is it she's trying to get at here? What is your question?
My grandfather told me once. She likes you.
I swear to God, you're high tonight. I swear to God.
No, I'm not. You know what I'm high on?
Life, man.
No, it's crack. It's not pot. Amanda, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
Or are you trying to recreate...
It's not being flattering, though.
Are you trying to recreate the single white female sort of...
No, but you know what? Everybody I tell and everybody that knows her says the same thing.
Oh,
that it's like, oh my God, it's like single white female. And
is she that nuts?
Huh?
No.
Is she nuts?
I don't know what's wrong with her. She wasn't like that when I first met her, and like, all of a sudden it's like she comes over to my house, look what I did, and it's like the same exact thing that I've done.
It's just
I don't know how to deal with it. I don't know if I should be her friend or...
Let's put it this way. If that movie had never been... If you'd never seen that movie, would you worried about this?
I am worried about it.
Hey,
because I've never had a friend do this to me.
Good answer. Hey, Amanda, you say she copies your hairstyle.
No,
what else?
Everything. I mean, there's not anything she doesn't...
Well, give us a specific, something that's scary, you know? I mean...
Like scary? She had one boyfriend, and she knows that I'm sexually active, and now all of a sudden she's like this big old hornball and has sex with everybody and comes over here and like brags about it to me. And
right, okay.
It's scary. It's like, God, can't you be your own self, you know?
Did you say that to her?
Yeah, I do. And she's like, I'm not copying you no more. Well, you know, you're doing everything I do.
Well, then just distance yourself from her if you're not comfortable.
Listen, don't hang out with her if you give you the creeps, goofball. But
I go to school with her and she's my niece.
Oh, shut up. Listen, you know why I don't like this question, Drew?
Why?
Because it's a sort of...
No question.
It's A, it's not a question, it's a statement. B, you sons of retards out there, if you're hanging around with somebody and you don't like them, yet they're your friend, stop hanging around with them.
Yeah.
And 4, this is one of those chick things. I mean, seriously, I meet a guy, he shows up in the same sweater I'm wearing, and it's high fives all the way around.
Adam, honestly, you don't like women, do you? Really, seriously?
No.
If a hooker, if someone goes down a hooker, that's just insurmountable. It's just awful, Sneem.
Well, actually, I blame the guy for that, Drew. That's not the woman. Drew, listen.
But it's the fact that he's doing something to a woman that it's, how could that be?
All right, Drew, how many calls you want to jump back? You want to go back to this time last week?
I want to talk about your castration complex and how those dreams of you, your mom, your grandmother coming over and smacking you over the head with your own scrotum is really important.
I never said my own scrotum. Oh, yes, I did say my own scrotum.
Yeah.
Ha-ha, touche. Listen, here's my point. This is not a big deal. And if it is a big deal, stop hanging around with the person. But here's what I would bet. I would bet that this person sort of looks up to Amanda, that this person is probably... feels that she's in a little over her head socially, maybe a little bit of an outcast, a little bit of a nerd or a geek, and so she's trying to do her best to sort of please Amanda and to just sort of be accepted.
Yeah, be a part of it.
And Amanda's bitch slapping her for it, and my point is if it's too much, then don't hang out with her. But, if some guy wants to listen to the same CDs I listen to and wear the same shoes I want to wear, I want to hang out with him more.
Do you hate women?
I love women. I hate women.
Okay.
Oh, Drew, please.
I'm just exploring.
Hey, listen, it's just
you said some very revealing things tonight.
What did I say? I said when a guy pays $1,000 and goes down on a hooker, it's like renting a car to have it detailed. That's all I said, and it smacks of low self-esteem. What about the part where I was talking about how to please a woman orally? Jackass. The temerity. How dare you? How dare you? I like when people say it twice. Maria? How dare you?
Fine.
How dare you?
I have 2 questions.
You're 15.
Yes.
Yeah, what's up?
And I have 2 questions.
All right.
All right, my first one is, I have heard from a friend that smoking cigarette makes you lose weight.
Yeah.
Well, there's a stimulant in caffeine, and people, their appetite will be cut back, but so will your life expectancy.
But is that, like, if you smoke a lot, or just, like, once in a while?
Well, you have to eat the cigarettes for them to really have
that, and there really isn't casual use of cigarettes, so don't do that, okay?
Oh, okay.
How much weight are you trying to lose?
No, I'm not trying to lose weight. I just heard, and I was just curious.
Well, in the old days...
Sorry for that allegation.
50 years ago, doctors used to recommend...
But people are just, like, think he's gay. And I had gone to his house, and he went with me. And, my ex-boyfriend used to think he was gay. And he put his hand, like, above his hand. Like, he just, like, put his hand above his hand. Like, my best friend just recently told me. And I told him, like, well, that's weird. He never told me. I mean, I think if he would have been messing around, he would have told me about it, as a laugh. Mm-hmm. But he never mentioned it. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I found that pretty strange.
Wake up.
Huh? Yeah. Wake up. Mommy? Hey, Maria?
Yeah?
I didn't hear any of that. I fell asleep halfway into it. One guy put his hand above the other guy's hand?
Yeah, but, like...
Oh, my God.
He's moving to Fire Island, this guy.
Please.
He's probably got the AIDS.
Oh.
He's probably pulling a train right now or behind some glory hole. Wow. I went into a movie once where this one guy put his hand above this other guy's hand.
Humanity!
I vomited. I couldn't believe it. It was repulsive.
But he looked at him strange, like...
Oh, that too. Oh, my God.
With them big, gay, beady eyes? All right, listen, Columbo. Stop trying to figure out who's gay.
No, but it's not just that. Like, he's weird. Like, after I broke up with him, my
okay. Hey, listen, Maria.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Calm down.
When did this turn into like a Tiger Beat chat line or something? And then she wore my sweater, and then he looked at me, and I looked at me funny like he was gay, and I think he's gay. I mean, who cares? Hey, Maria. I'm going to hell. Maria was on hold for 97 minutes, but we're always right when we have someone on hold for an hour and a half, aren't we, Drew?
There's a reason that they get left on hold.
We've been trying like a mother to avoid that call all night. That's been staring me right in the face. All right, listen, Maria.
We'll take a break. No.
She was on hold for 2 hours. My point is, and I'll just say it one more time. If someone is giving you the creeps, if you don't like the way someone is acting, feel free not to hang out with them. It's fine.
Thank you.
There's no problem with that.
Enjoy.
We'll be back.
I'm with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Yes.
Good to see them again, yeah.
It will be. I'll tell you, Monique is one of the nicest people I've ever met, and the whole band is great. They really are. So
remember we watched them in concert with her parents sitting there while she
talked about. She after
Show Me Your
mic stand or something.
It was a Show Me Your Vagina.
Show Me Your Vagina. Yeah.
Remember she was saying that?
Yeah, parents were standing.
Oh, there's Mom and Dad. We were like, oh my God, Monique.
Yeah, that is nice. It's payback time. Just like for me on the radio. Hey, weren't we supposed to be in a Save Ferris video, by the way?
Got to talk to them about that.
What happened?
I don't know.
All right, fantabulous. You ready? I'm hitting the wall here, by the way, Drew. I left the house at 8 this morning. When the hell did you leave?
6.
You idiot. Anything for a buck. All right, where are we here, Drew? What line? Did we leave off with someone?
No, let's talk to Mike, who's 20.
All right, here we go. Mike?
Yes.
You're 20. What do you got?
Well, what happened is I did, about a week ago, I went to the hospital after doing a substantial amount of methamphetamines, and they found out that I might have a heart condition.
How much meth did you do?
About 2.5 grams of myself.
Did you tell them you had...
How long a period of time?
Within I'd say about a 15-hour period.
Did you tell them?
Yeah.
What's that?
You had done this? Did you tell them you had done this?
No, I didn't, because of, didn't want, they found out anyways because they did a blood test and urine test, and they did tests, and I kind of lied to them and said, well, I don't know how I got there. It might have been sipping my drink at a party or something.
Oh my God. Oh boy. So what is the nature of the heart condition?
I put him on hold because his line was so...
I got to know what the heart condition was.
What's the heart condition?
They don't know. They said I had a heart murmur, and I have to go in for tests next week to find out.
In my experience, that has been more associated with cocaine. Did you do a lot of cocaine, too?
Well, they said they found cocaine in my body, but what I did, what I was told that I did was methamphetamines.
Well, that was the only night you'd done the stimulants? Otherwise you don't do them?
No, I didn't. It was just kind of, I went to this party, and they were like, hey, do you want to do some of this? And I was like, sure. And then after I did some, and I was pretty high, I went and bought some more. And it just kind of went on for... So you've never done cocaine? No, never. I've never done it before.
So it was just a binge that night. And what did you go to the emergency room with? What was the symptom?
Well, they said I had an anxiety attack. I didn't breathe. I wasn't breathing for like a minute and a half. And my girlfriend called the 911 and had the paramedics come and get me because I blacked out, so I don't remember doing this, but I apparently fell and hit my head on the wall and was twitching, and my body, they said it atrophied, I think is the word.
You may have had a seizure. You may have had a seizure. The speed can do that to you, too. But listen, there's a couple things. One is that the cocaine is a powerful vasoconstrictive, so it can restrict the supply of blood to the inner surface of the heart. It can cause a dissolving of these sort of tendons that keep the heart valve stuck down, and so that can dissolve and the valves can start flopping around. So there might have been cocaine. Secondly, you may have just
not from one night, though.
Usually not. And though, secondly, this may have been what's called a hyperdynamic murmur. Just your heart is so overdriven by the stimulants that you hear a murmur, even though it's not caused by any significant heart valve problem. Mm-hmm. So get it checked out, and don't do that anymore.
Thank you. Enjoy. Listen, 2.5 grams of crank is a ton.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell you, one time in my life I did like 2 small lines of crank and was going for a day, and I couldn't imagine. I mean, I'm trying to figure out, Drew, how many, sort of average size lines do you get out of a gram? I mean, what do you think? Average size, 2-3 inches long by 1/8 of an inch wide.
I have no idea.
A gram of Coke. What would you say? I'd say a gram of Coke would be more like 10 lines about that size.
Right.
Wouldn't you? Yeah. The point is he's really 2.5 grams of crank. He's doing like 25, 30 nice sized lines of crank. I mean, that's crazy, man. That'll freak your ass out, brother. Yeah.
You haven't talked to Chris. He's been home for a long time, right?
Right. I just got a bad feeling about the boy. That's all, Chris.
How long has he been on hold?
112 minutes and 32 seconds.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Why shouldn't you all suffer like me? That's going to be the name of my next book. Chris, what's up?
Hi, I'm Charlie.
Sorry. Your instincts were good, Adam.
Chris, are you retarded? Are you?
His name was Charlie.
Well, maybe he's retarded. I don't want to make fun of him. Are you
retarded?
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Even though it's a prank call, the guy's been on hold for 112 minutes.
Serves him right. We have good instincts.
I know, but I still feel like we owe him something.
No, come on.
Come on.
You really are out. Are you high? I swear to God you're high tonight.
Oh, I wish I was. I wish. You wish. We wish I was high. All right. Let's talk to someone who's recently raped and see if we can
Wendy,
have the show take an upbeat turn. Wendy, you're 21. What's up?
Yeah, I was recently raped.
I was, too, by the federal government. $253,000 I wrote him a check for yesterday. Believe me, I'd rather be held down at knife point by Hell's Angels in a park. Seriously. Hold on. Hypothetical, Drew. Held down by, not you, Drew. You make a good living, but average American. Held down by biker and raped one time, or $253,000 out of the checking account over to the federal government. Held down and raped.
Yeah,
there you go. Thank you.
Well,
it's better. You don't feel as dirty at the end of it. So, what's up, Wendy?
Yeah, so I don't really, feel, traumatized or anything. I see, the TV shows, the girls that get raped on TV and stuff. And I'm wondering if, that's normal.
What happened? What happened? Yeah.
I'm sorry?
What happened?
Well, I was, it was my 21st birthday, and I was, drinking a lot. And, I ended up, these guys that were friends of a friend took me home. But they didn't take me home. They took me, and they parked, and they got on top of me, and they just started doing stuff.
Yeah, see, this whole designated driver thing is not working the way they'd planned.
Were you completely intoxicated? Were you really...
No, after they were doing that, I realized that so I made them stop. They wouldn't stop. I made them, kind of keep driving, because one of them said something about, let's go get a room or something.
Did they rape you?
Yes, they did. I totally wasn't even, flirting with them or anything, I totally did not want them.
Was this this is more than one person?
There was 2 guys.
Well, they both had sex with you?
Well, I only remember one of them doing it.
I see. And did you say...
the guy, I told him, I had this idea in my head, if I say that, let's get a room, then they'll keep driving, and I can pretend that I'm going to throw up and get out of the car. So they did, and I got out of the car and I ran out, and I just left running.
And did you say you knew these guys?
No, they were friends of a friend.
Oh, boy.
Who went to my party.
And had you had sex before?
Not
you weren't a virgin. You weren't a virgin or anything?
No.
Have you ever been victimized before?
I was, but that was a long time ago.
Shocking.
Surprise.
Yeah, it's never a surprise, unfortunately.
But I don't really feel
not that it wasn't your fault. It's just somehow every time this happens, it's happened before. Well, okay, but let's figure out what happened the first time when you were younger.
I was, it was when I was 16 or 17, and I was also drinking.
And what about before that?
That was it.
Nothing?
Nothing before that.
No, nothing in the family?
No.
Where's Dad?
He's at home. He lives with us.
All right. And
he drinks, though. He's an alcoholic.
Right.
Okay. Something set you up. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Look, you have to do something because you're moving down a progressive, slippery slope here. Things are going to get worse for you, Monday they are. And why you're not having any affect, any feelings about what had happened to you, I'm not sure. you found a way to sort of numb yourself or to distance yourself from your feelings, and I expect there'll be a price for that, such as a need to escalate your drinking. So, if you're ready to do something, you need to get some sort of rape counseling for even what had happened to you 4 years ago, 5 years ago when you were 16. You need to deal with your alcoholism because you're in the burgeoning stages of alcoholism. And you may need some codependency treatment. I suggest you get yourself a therapist and start talking to someone and follow their direction.
How about reporting these guys to the police who raped you?
I don't know. I just kind of don't want to deal with that, really. I just try to avoid places like I'm sure they're going to be at. And stuff.
Oh, but you know these guys. You know how to find them.
Yeah, but it's too late now.
All right. I really wish...
I agree with you. She should report.
Well, here's why I wish... people would report these people.
These guys can't keep getting away with it.
Well, that takes the pressure off me. Keeps the cops busy.
I see.
No, what it does is it creates a record so that the next time someone reports these guys, then they really do some time.
Yep.
All right, Al-Anon, Coda Al-Anon.
Well, just get a therapist.
Rita Coda Al-Anon.
Well, probably you need some kind of recovery.
Nicole. You're 22?
Yeah.
Your boyfriend can only get off if he watches porn or if you dress like a little girl.
He can't get off on his own. He just can't. He can't really get hard unless he's watching people have sex or if I dress up.
All right. So that'd be the part where you'd go, yes.
Adam, yes, you're right.
Yeah, yes.
It's just kind of...
You know, hold on. I'm so naive, Drew. I never get used to it. I always think there's going to be a different story.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because only on this show do you experience that phenomenon. You don't experience it in other facets of life.
Explain to them what you just experienced. Some of our listeners may not even have caught it.
What I mean is normally, like when you say to somebody, so let me get this straight. Your car backfires a lot and it stalls at red lights.
And then my response is no.
When your response is no. Here's what happens.
Yeah.
You then expect to hear something else.
Well, what you hear is no. My car backfires and it stalls
at red lights. And I never get used to that. So when we do it with one of our callers, I always expect to be corrected somehow, or maybe the screener got the call wrong. Or
they're usually emphatic too. They're like, no. It's
but Nicole was not emphatic about this. She just sort of parroted back what I said. So let me get this straight. Your boyfriend can only have an orgasm if he watches porn or if you dress up like a little girl.
No, he can have orgasms normally, but it excites him more. I mean, he can only come if I'm on top. But I have to be dressed like a little girl with
I see.
Little tiny skirt.
Oh my God.
Okay, well, now I'm seeing this whole thing in a totally new light. This is Drew, hold on a second. Nicole, you got to put you on hold, sister, because quite frankly, this is more than I was ready to deal with emotionally. I thought we were talking about a call where a guy could only have an orgasm if he watched porn or she dressed up like a little schoolgirl, and as it turns out, it's a completely different situation. This situation involves him only having an orgasm if he watches porn or she dresses like a little girl.
And we have been misled.
That, hold on, Drew. What I'd like to do at this point is regroup. Because we're flying off in 1,000 different directions at the speed of light. I think what we're going to do is we're going to regroup. We'll take a little time out. Drew, you and I are going to talk during the commercial break, and we'll see if we can't formulate a totally new and different plan for this complex question, which has just come out of left field and dumbfounded us, okay? All right, so let's work on this, and we'll come back with Nicole, and we'll get to the bottom of this new and different question, okay?
All right,
hang on. Hello there, you're as welcome as can be. I'm Ace Rocco, my good partner there. Doc Drew, just make to have the middle lightning round right here in the fabulous Loveline. Let's check the time real quick before we hop back on the Loveline phones. It's 11:46 straight up. That's 14 minutes away from the top of the hour, the witching hour, 12 midnight. Dr. Drew is over in the other studio. I'm here at the home base, the Loveline headquarters, the Bat Cave, if you will. Let me give you a quick rundown of next week. We got Marty McConaughey coming in here on Sunday night. He is quite a fine actor. Frankie Stallone, brother of Sly. Sly and the Family Stallone will be in here on Monday night. Then, of course, we got the Goo and Dolls. We're going to be in here on Wednesday night. And our favorite, Save Some for Paris is going to come in on Thursday night. Let's check the time real quick. It's 11:46 and 40 seconds. It's 13 minutes and 20 seconds away from the top of the hour. Straight up. Here's back there in the middle. Right and roll! Let's hop back on the phone. Let's speak to Ryan. Ryan's on line 6. Ryan's got a little Ryan, you're 15 years old. Check it out.
Yeah, hey.
What's your there, bud?
Well, I sail, and just when I holding all the ropes and everything, it makes my hands very rough.
Yeah.
And then later when I masturbate, it kind of rubs away.
So you're saying your sailing's getting away, your semen. Is that what you're saying about?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, right. Hold on there, buddy. Let's check the time just 1 second. It's 11:47 and 25 seconds. It's 12 minutes and 35 seconds. Wait, now the hour. Hey, it's Rocco. Ryan, you got to use a little something called Lubriderm. Let's hop back on the phones and let's get to Isabel. Isabel?
Hi.
Isabel, 19 years old. What's up?
My mom was recently diagnosed with cancer. Actually, it was recently, but she's been taking painkillers for like the last year. And it's really starting to bother me because she's been addicted to them.
Okay.
And I was
starting to bother you or bother her?
It bothers me and the whole family, and I'm the only one that actually talks about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know what I should do because she's a nurse and she goes to work like this and she drives like this.
That's bad news.
Well, yeah, Isabel. What kind of cancer does she have?
It was pancreatic cancer.
Yeah.
And she was diagnosed about 4 years ago with 3 weeks to live.
Wow, that's amazing that she's done so well with this.
Boy, that's a tough diagnosis. You have 3 weeks to live 4 years ago, Drew. What do you say to that?
Yeah. Did they have the right diagnosis?
That's a good question. Isabel?
Yes?
The right diagnosis?
I don't know. I mean, the doctors don't really know much about it.
Well, is she living? Is she going to live?
She's been living lately.
Someone's got to confront her. You need to go to Al-Anon and sort of lay off her a little bit, but somehow you need to get some leverage and create some consequences for her. It may need even to notify her employer.
Hey, Drewski, I hate to cut in on such a serious call, but I do have to check the time. It's 11:49, straight up. It's 11 minutes away from the top of the hour, straight up. 12 minutes wind hours back there in the middle, riding around. I mean, it's Carolla, my partner, Dr. Drew. I like that line Isabel gave. She's been living lately, and living large we are. And let's hop back on the phone and speak to Sarah. Sarah is 21 years old, thinks she's allergic to pollen. Sarah, what do you say, buddy?
Well, I'm trying to get a hold of you guys in the past week. I wanted to know if it's normal. I don't smoke it, first of all. It's a big no-no. When I'm around, like, if I'm out somewhere and somebody else is smoking it, I start to, like, I don't know, my lungs start to hurt me. And then
Hey, Sarah? Let me check the time real quick. It's 11:49 and 50 seconds. That's 10 minutes and 10 seconds away from the top of the hour, straight up. Sarah?
Some people can be very sensitive to the smoke. It can induce bronchospasm and it can be uncomfortable. It's irritating.
Stay out of out of Spicoli's van is what my good partner is saying. Let's hop back on the phones and speak to Nate. Nate is 17. Natester, what's up? You're on the Loveline, buddy. Good to have you.
Hi. I took shrooms in December, last December, and I was wondering how long it stays in my system.
Out within, it's gone in a few hours.
You'll crap it out as fast as you'll crap out a jelly donut. Am I right, Drewski?
Well, some of it can stay in the fat cells, but it's essentially out. You're not measurably present.
Drew?
Yeah.
Let me check time, bud. It's 11:50 and 40 seconds. That's 9 minutes and 20 seconds away from the top of the hour, straight up. You are smack dab in the middle, the light around the fastest 18 minutes on radio. I'm Ace Rockola, my good partner, Dr. Drew. Did I mention that Marty McConaughey is coming in next week along with Frankie Stallone, the Goo Dolls, and the Save Some for Paris? Let's hop back on the phones. This time, we'll speak to Drew. Drew, it's your namesake. What do you say, buddy? You're 20. You're on Loveline.
Hey, how you doing? Okay, Dr. Drew.
Yeah.
I'm on Ritalin. I've taken it for about 5 years, 50 milligrams a day. The other day, I misplaced my bottle. It's going to be 2 weeks until my refill. I want to know what kind of thing I'm going to experience.
Did you really misplace it? Did you really misplace it, or did you just use a little too much?
Well, I did. No, I didn't use too much. I didn't misplace it, though. I know where it is. I just can't get it.
You didn't give it to your friends or use too much or anything like that?
Fell down a storm drain or something, brother?
No. It's at my friend's house, but my friend lives like 100 miles away. And
you've got to call your pharmacist and get a refill. You've got to do that.
Hey,
I've done that before, though, and I can't do that.
Hey, Drew, buddy. This is the Ace man speaking to us. You know,
what time is it?
Yeah, let me check time real quick. It's 11:51 and 55 seconds. That's 8 minutes and 5 seconds away from the Caller, Drew.
Yeah.
Listen, there's this little thing that was just invented about 150 years ago. It's called the U.S. Postal Service, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
You get your buddy to put it in a little envelope, and he sends it to you, and they use next day shipping, and you get it 2 days later. What do you say there, Drew?
I'm not sure that's legal, but it sounds okay.
Sounds like a plan to me. All right, so we hop on the phones to the old Puss, the horse is out of the barn. That's the old Pony Express. Lee!
Yes.
Lee, you're 19 years old. Thanks for calling into the show. Love to hear you, buddy. What's your question or comment?
I was wondering what kind of risk there is in getting your penis pierced.
Bleeding, infection, and irreparable damage to your soul.
And amazing pain to the groinal area. You hear what I'm saying?
It still works, all right?
It may or may not. You're rolling the dice, buddy.
It doesn't get infected and slough off.
Listen, I don't need some guy who hates his parents with a couple of hoops through his nose and a shaved head with a chain link tattooed on it getting near the old wood. You know what I'm saying, Drewski? I think you're on board with this shit.
I wonder if you had been 16 today, if you would have gotten pierced.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Drew.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, partner, let me tell you something about Ace Rockolla's body's pristine. He's got no tats. He's got no piercings. He's got nothing on there. Just as God created me with a little bit of extra hair on the anus. It is 11:53 and 30 seconds straight up. That is 6 minutes and 30 seconds away from the hour straight up. And I gotta tell you, it's coming on next week, Marty McCullough, Frank Stallone, the Goobin Dolls, and the Save Some for Daddy and Ferris. Coming in mercifully, we're at the end of this show. And that means the end of the lightning round. Now listen there, kiddies. I don't want you going anywhere. I want you to hug that radio. You stick right to it, because I tell you what, you glue yourself on there like Velcro, and we're going to be right back with more of the Loveline, the show that cares, right after this word from our sponsors. All right. Well, there you go.
Yeah, thankfully.
Thank God I'm shooting 2 of those goddamn man shows on Saturday. I just don't know what I would do if I had a day off.
Enjoy.
All right. Thank God I left the house at 8:30. Oh, Drew. We're killing ourselves here, Ben. Me and you, we need a vacation alone.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? We're going to rekindle that love?
That's right, baby. Forget about rekindle. We are going to burn the goddamn house down.
How dare you?
Very, very super extra gay. Okay, so I want to thank producer Ann for doing a great job all week. The beautiful, scrumptious, huggable Danielle for keeping not only the coffee warm, but the cockles of my heart heated. And, of course, Anderson for pushing the buttons and sliding the potentiometers and making it all happen. And, of course, my good partner, Dr. Drew. So until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Dr. Drew saying mahalo.
He will taste his own nut.
Well, now.
This has been Loveline. The stuff that